from desert plants of Avalon in the north of Ireland, and in today's video I'm going to be repotting my Opuntia cobra, also known as Opuntia reticulata, into a new pot, into its next size pot. And this particular Opuntia, commonly known as the prickly pear group of cactus family, is quite an unusual Opuntia because, as you can see, it has sort of very wacky type of skin, a bit like a snake, which is why it's nicknamed the Opuntia cobra. And it's a very unusual type of Opuntia. We have quite a few different types of Opuntias in our collection that do really well for us, but this one is one we got a couple of years ago and absolutely love it. It's doing very, very well. Got a bad case of spider mite a couple of years ago, as you can see there, but it's making a very good recovery now with all of its new growth here with the new pads. Now, first of all, before I repot this Opuntia, I'm going to talk a little bit about a few care tips with you. Now, this Opuntia is actually a cultivar that's actually been made in nurseries in Europe. So it's not one that you would find naturally in its natural habitats. It's sort of a bit of a unique one, and it's getting more popular now to grow in cultivation. And this, like a lot of the Opuntias, it loves a lot of full direct sun, and can also take a bit more shade than the normal type of Opuntias can as well. Now, it's not particularly cold hardy. A lot of Opuntias are very cold hardy, but this one likes to have a minimum of 5 degrees Celsius, which is 41 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter. So if you have this particular cactus and you have it out in a greenhouse or out in your yard, it's important that you bring it in for the winter months if you have temperatures that drop below that temperature in the winter time. And with this particular cactus, it can be a little bit more rot prone than the other type of Opuntias, mainly because it's a cultivar that's been made in the nurseries in Europe, and it does like to completely dry out in between waterings. And watering this cactus, you'd be from the typical growing season, which would be from April probably till mid-September time, and loves a very, very draining, gritty cactus soil. It's important that this is not potted up in normal type of houseplant soil. It has to have a very gritty compost soil. I'm going to talk about the soil mix I've used for this when I pot this up. So it's a little bit about this wonderful, wacky and weird Opuntia cobra, and now I'm going to talk about the soil mix. Now, the soil mix I've made on here, I've made a gritty mix, and this is one I use for a lot of my cacti and succulents. It's a good all-purpose one. I sometimes alter what I put into the soil mixes depending on the type of cactus or succulent it is. But in this case, I've used my traditional recipe, which is 3 equal parts of loam-based soil, which in this case I'm using John Innes number 2, mixed with equal parts of grit and sharp horticultural sand, and giving it a good old mix around as well. And I always sieve the loam through a sieve to make sure there's no bits of bark and things like that in the soil. So this is a very well draining mix, and it's very important with this particular cactus that it does dry out fully in between waterings. So this is a very good mix to use here. And if you want to know how I make my own cactus soil, then links up above to a video I've made on how to make cactus soil in 3 easy steps, and I explain a bit more in that video. Do check it out. Links will be up above and down below in the video description. Now, I've got the next size pot up here, so you want to make sure that when you repot cactus that you don't go up into too big of a pot. It's always best just to go in the next size up, so they're not going to be sitting too long in damp soil. And I'm going to put a bit more in here. And luckily this one is one that is not that, well, it's not really spiny at all. It does have little glow kids, but it's not one with dangerous spines. So that's why I'm going to be repotting this without using gloves. If you're repotting a traditional type of Opuntia, do protect your hands, because the glow kids come off and the sharp spines also, and they stick to your skin like glue. So I sometimes use pieces of cardboard or other thing. Bubble wrap is not very good to use because it would just get the spines and the glow kids go straight through. So do protect your hands. As I say, I'm used to handling cactus, and also this one is really not spiny at all, so not a problem. I just want to squeeze the pot to get it out. As you can see, very, very desperate to be repotted there. Now, I always check for signs like root mealybugs and things like that, because root mealybug will always be on the edges there. And what I would normally do is loosen up the roots as well before putting it in the new soil. I'm actually going to keep this as it is and just gently place it into the soil. I'm using more or less the same soil mix anyway, but personally, in my experience, the less I touch the roots the better. But if this was completely matted around there, it was just a mass of roots, I would have to loosen it a bit. But I'm not going to do that in this case. I'm just going to very gently place it into the pot like so, and then I'm going to put the soil all around the edges. I'm just going to place that here. Let's move it so you can see it a bit better. And I'm using totally dry soil. As I say, this is one Opuntia that can be a little bit prone to rot if you're not careful. And once I've repotted this Opuntia, I'm not going to be watering it at all for at least 2 weeks. And the reason for that, it gives the plant a chance to acclimatise from being repotted. As you can see, I haven't touched the roots really in any way. I haven't even disrupted them, so it shouldn't be a problem, but it's just something I prefer to leave it a couple of weeks before I water. That's that. Gently tap in, and then I use this just to go around the edges, and give it a little bit of a squeeze so the soil gets all the way down the bottom. There you go, all done. And it's going to stick the label, Opuntia cultivar reticulata. Woohoo, that's it's all potted up in its lovely new pot, and it's going to absolutely grow amazing now. As I say, it's pot not too big, not too much bigger than what it was in, so it's going to do really well now for the rest of the summer. And I hope you enjoyed the little repotting video. I'm going to have a lot more repotting videos coming up over the next few weeks. I've got a lot to get through. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. For lots more tips and tricks on how you can care for and grow cacti and succulents, then please do subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Desert Plants of Avalon. And for more growing tips, as well as regular articles on caring for cacti and succulents, do please check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. I want to wish you all an incredible plant-powered day. Thank you for repotting me.